Let's talk about JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. We have an update on JJ and his ankle. He's going to miss the next 2 to 4 weeks. It's a high ankle sprain that he suffered in that loss against the Atlanta Falcons during Sunday Night Football. Not ideal for a quarterback that missed his entire rookie season with a torn meniscus injury that he suffered in the preseason. Now, to play advocate here, JJ wasn't going to play a single snap during his rookie season with how Sam Darnold played. And that was the plan all along for the Minnesota Vikings, was to let JJ sit for a year or two and then go to him. But Sam Darnold played so great last year that it made no sense to even think about going to JJ if he was fully healthy. JJ so far has not looked good for the Minnesota Vikings. He did have the one good quarter against the Chicago Bears, and that came late in the fourth quarter. JJ so far against the Chicago Bears, 13 to 20, 143 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, the 1 interception, and he had the beautiful rushing touchdown as well. We have to talk about that. It takes more than just one quarter to go out there and be a superstar quarterback in this league, and it's going to take some time. I didn't expect for JJ to go out there and look like how Sam Darnold looked last year and look like how Kirk Cousins looked with Kevin O'Connell. But at the same time, you do expect for him to look better. The way that he played against the Chicago Bears was unacceptable for the first 3 quarters. He had a pick 6 in that matchup. He was very late on throws. He could not scan and read the field. He was terrible against pressure. But it's not always about how you start. It's about how you finish. And he finished amazing. I was very disappointed that he could not carry that over against the Atlanta Falcons. And once again, I understand this is his first year as a starter in the NFL. Last year when he was a rookie, it was not your typical situation. When you usually select a quarterback in the first round and you want them to sit back and develop, they don't deal with injuries. Patrick Mahomes got to sit back behind Alex Smith for that first year. He only played 1 game. That was the last game of the regular season. He got to take reps in practice. They knew that he was going to be the guy. Aaron Rodgers was dealing with an injury his rookie season. He got to take reps, got to work with players. Those reps can help you out in practice and also in training camp. JJ did not have that situation last year because as soon as he got injured in the preseason, he went and had meniscus surgery. He didn't get to take those reps over and over again and work on those things. He did get to sit back and look from Sam Darnold, but it is a bit different. So I'll give him grace there. But this is not your typical situation for a quarterback. Usually when you get selected in the first round, especially high in the first round, if a team doesn't trade up for you at the quarterback position, you're going to one of the worst situations in the NFL. For example, the Tennessee Titans with Cam Ward. They were the worst team in the NFL last year. No one expects for Cam Ward to go out there and to be an MVP of this league. The rest of the pieces around him, they aren't the best. Jaden Daniels had a phenomenal year last year, the Washington Commanders. They were a terrible team the year before. He goes out there, has a great year. That's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. Many people, they may talk about CJ, how he came to the Houston Texans, back-to-back playoff wins, back-to-back division wins. That's true, but those are all rare cases. The reason why this is a little bit different from JJ, we've seen Kevin O'Connell go out there and work with quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins and get the most out of him. Even though Kirk Cousins was a veteran, he still had career highs with the Minnesota Vikings. He looked tremendously better with Minnesota than he did with the then Washington Redskins, now Washington Commanders. And Sam Darnold was a journeyman quarterback. This was a man that was selected high in the first round by the New York Jets. That goes back into my argument when you get selected in the first round, you go into a terrible situation. Tremendously talented coming out of USC. Goes to the New York Jets. Terrible team, terrible organization. They still haven't developed a quarterback. They let him go to the Carolina Panthers. They trade him there. The Carolina Panthers, they can't develop a quarterback. He had some up and down moments with the Panthers. Then he became a backup with the 49ers. He comes over to the Minnesota Vikings, has the best year of his career easily. And that's because of the coaching of Kevin O'Connell and the system that he has built around the Minnesota Vikings with amazing playmakers like Jordan Addison, the same with Justin Jefferson. So you expect for JJ to at least hit the ground running just a little bit. I'm not expecting for him to be this top 5, the top 10 quarterback just yet. But the way that he looked against the Chicago Bears in the first half, the first 3 quarters, that's unacceptable. And the same against the Atlanta Falcons. This Atlanta Falcons game was just terrible. He was late on throws. He missed a lot of throws. He was not able to go out there and anticipate pressure. He was 11 to 21, 158 passing yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He got sacked 3 times against the Chicago Bears. He got sacked 6 times against the Atlanta Falcons. Now I'm about to take up for JJ here for a second. He is doing this without some of his best playmakers on the field. We know that he has Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in the game. A wide receiver can help you with accuracy. If you can't hit them when they're wide open, that's a problem. But he's going to take a lot of pressure off of JJ. Jordan Addison, he's been suspended for the first 3 games. He hasn't been able to play. Hopefully when he comes back, he can still be that superstar wide receiver, and I expect for him to be. When Justin Jefferson was dealing with injuries, we've seen Jordan Addison go out there and be that number 1 wide receiver. So they have 1A, they have 1B. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is a better wide receiver than Jordan Addison, but those are 2 phenomenal wide receivers. You have TJ at the tight end position. But with you missing Jordan Addison, you now rely on Adam Thielen to be that consistent number 2 wide receiver. He's not the same guy anymore. Was a very good wide receiver over the last 2 years of the Carolina Panthers, don't get me wrong, but he's not the same Adam Thielen that he once was. He's not going to go out there and separate over and over again on 3rd down. He's better off as a number 3 option, really as a number 4 option behind Justin Jefferson, behind Jordan Addison, and the same behind TJ at the tight end spot. And the biggest miss right now for the Minnesota Vikings is not Jordan Addison. It's Christian at the left tackle position. This kid is constantly under pressure over and over again, and Christian hasn't played a single down just yet this season. The last time that we saw him play was against the Los Angeles Rams, Thursday Night Football. And that was a brutal knee injury. Hopefully he can come back sooner than later because he's easily the best offensive lineman with this roster. And this is a talented offensive line. When he's fully healthy, you have him on the left side. You drafted Donovan Jackson in the first round. He's looked very good so far at the left guard position. You have Ryan Kelly that you brought over from the Indianapolis Colts. He's one of the most consistent centers in football. And you have Will Fries, also another player from the Indianapolis Colts, one of the most consistent right guards in the league. And this is something that the Minnesota Vikings have dealt with over the last 8 to 10 years. Interior offensive line pressure year in and year out. When they went to the NFL playoffs a few years ago, when they lost against the New York Giants, you had the terrible defense with Coach Ed. He was a terrible defensive coordinator. But the interior of your defensive line, your interior of your offensive line constantly got beat by Dexter Lawrence over and over again. And you couldn't run the football up the middle. So you go out there and you address it this year. The same thing happened when you went against the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, Sam Darnold did hold on to the football for a very long time, but he was constantly under pressure over and over. So now it's a better offensive line. The first 3 quarters against the Chicago Bears, it didn't look particularly good. But late in the 4th quarter, they were getting a push up front with Aaron Jones. They were able to go out there and alleviate some of that pressure off this young quarterback who was essentially a rookie, even though it is his 2nd year, first year as a starter. And you have Brian O'Neill at the right tackle position. So JJ did not go into a terrible situation. He didn't go to the Cleveland Browns. He didn't go to the New York Jets. He went to a very talented Minnesota Vikings team. And when they're fully healthy, they're one of the best rosters in the NFL. And for him to get injured, yet again, it's not a good sign for JJ. I'm not writing him off. I'm not calling him a bust. I'm not calling him a superstar either. But you're going to get a quick answer on JJ rather than other players at this position. Because it takes time to go out there and build around a quarterback. They already had pieces in place. And Kevin O'Connell has a tremendous record in the regular season as a head coach. So if JJ can't catch on and he continues to make the same mistakes over and over again, how long of a leash do you give him? Due to the fact that we've seen veteran quarterbacks come into the system and they hit the ground running immediately. And once again, I'm not saying that he has to go out there and carry this team on his back. This team is so balanced. They just need JJ to do a better job in terms of scanning the field, getting the football where it needs to be, and not turning the football over. That's it. Let your playmakers make plays in space. And he has that athleticism to where he can move outside the pocket. We've seen that against the Atlanta Falcons and the same against the Chicago Bears. He has more athleticism, obviously, than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is more so of a scarecrow, prototypical quarterback. Sam Darnold has some wheels as well, but he's a better athlete than Sam Darnold. And this is the one thing that does concern me with JJ. He's never been asked to be that guy. At Michigan, he was never the sole reason why they won football games. They had a tremendous defense with Coach Harbaugh. They had a beautiful run game with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. A very good offensive line. One of the best offensive lines this last year at Michigan. And very good wide receiving play. He had Roman Wilson, who is now with the Steelers. They asked him to make plays on 3rd down, but they ran the football. They made him this elite game manager. And usually, when you come into the NFL and you ask those elite game managers to be the face of the franchise, it's usually going to take some time. But the intangibles are there. He's this big quarterback. He has a strong arm. The processing isn't there. The accuracy, we've seen him deliver some sweet passes. It just needs to be more consistent. But I'm willing to be patient with JJ for the time being. Unfortunately, they'll have to go with Carson Wentz over the next couple of weeks. And I think Carson Wentz will do fine. He's been a turnover machine in the past. But once again, you have Kevin O'Connell as a head coach. He's a QB whisperer at this point, a QB guru. Defensively, they also have a strong defense. Brian Flores is one of the best defensive minds in the game. They made life hell for Caleb Williams in the second half. They made Michael Penix Jr. life hell for the entire game. He didn't turn the football over. They did run the football in them over and over again, but your defense is gashed out because of the interception, because of the turnovers by your offense and the 3 and outs constantly. But this defense consists of some very good names. Jonathan Allen, very good run stopper, can get to the passer. The same with Javon Hargrave. Those are 2 elite run stoppers. Jonathan Gennard, he's your best pass rusher. He can get there constantly over and over again. Ivan Pace Jr. is a very good player. Andrew Van Ginkel did miss that matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, but we know that he's one of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker on this team. Can make plays in space, excellent tackler, very good in man and zone coverage. He had 2 pick sixes last year. Isaiah Rodgers at the cornerback position. You have Josh, who's a very good safety with this roster. Harrison Smith, he did miss the last game. The man is 35 years old, but he's still moving around like he's 24, 25 years old. Byron Murphy Jr. is the best player in your secondary. He's tremendous. So this is a strong defense. If JJ can just go out there and perform better, the Minnesota Vikings could be a dangerous threat in the NFC. And with that run game with Aaron Jones, with this offensive line, and the same with Jordan Mason, it's talent everywhere. But he's going to have to get better in a quick way. I'm rooting for J.J. McCarthy and the same with Kevin O'Connell. And from all the reports that I'm reading and all the reports that are coming out, the Minnesota Vikings, they're willing to be patient with J.J. They've seen him have some big-time plays in practice. Hopefully that can translate over for the rest of the regular season. And I wish him nothing but the best and nothing but health moving forward. I want to see every single team in this league have a very good quarterback because it makes the league more exciting. And look at this division. You have the Detroit Lions. They have a talented quarterback in Jared Goff. They still have a very good roster. Caleb Williams is this wild bull right now. He's made some wild plays. There's a lot of upside with him and Ben Johnson, the Bears still, even though they're 0-2. Then you have the Minnesota Vikings here. And look at the Green Bay Packers. Right now, they're one of the best teams in the NFL as I record this video. They're 2-0. But this story is far from finished. And once again, I'm not saying that JJ is going to be a superstar because of the fourth quarter. And I'm not saying that JJ is going to be a bust because of his struggles right now. Give it some time. But he does not deserve to have a leash as other quarterbacks have been selected in the first round because of his situation. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about JJ long-term with the Minnesota Vikings and can he figure things out. And I know what a lot of people may say. They may say right now he is injury prone. That's pretty safe to say. I will say that torn meniscus last year, high ankle sprain now, is a high physical contact game, but your best ability is availability. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.